In this part, which is part 6 of creating a horizontal dumbbell chart, we're going to work on the scale here. What I want to do is basically just one basic thing. I want to remove all the grid lines, create one line here, but I want to start this at 0 without impacting this part here. Plus, I want to make that 0 point like a dotted line going to here, and from there on, it will be a solid line. So it will indicate like there's a difference in the calculation here. So to do this, all I need to do first is go into the plugin, sorry, not in the plugin, but in the scale. Say comma, we're going to work with the grids. So we're going to remove the grids here. We say display equals false. Save that. Refresh. Alright, so now we have removed the lines that are directly connected to the X scale. The next thing what I want to do here is let's remove that as well on the Y scale. There we are. Let's remove now the final item, which is the basically the borders. So comma border, and then we say here display equals false. There we are, and then remove this one as well. Save. So now what we have here is the line from here to here that we have to create. Luckily this is quite easy, but I need to have a custom plugin for this. I'm sure there are some built-in functionalities, but I couldn't get it to work properly, so that's why I'm making my own plugin that is just easier. So what I'm going to say here, let's say scale line. We'll make our own custom scale line. So I'm going to scroll up here, and I will make sure it will be done, or the plugin should load just here somewhere. Like I want to have it in the before, so it's in that same area set. And of course you could put it in here as well, but I just keep it here so you have it nice organized as a plugin. You can remove if you don't need them. So then an ID here will be the scale line, and I'm going to say here before, or basically I'm just going to grab all of this here. Make it just simple. Alright, so I'm not sure what we need here, but probably we need very, very little here. I guess the chart area we'll be needing, the top specifically. From left to right, that is correct. The data is probably not necessary, but we do need the scales here. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is, let's see here, we're going to say here ctx.save. Then what I want to do here is ctx.begin path to create a new independent line. So we're going to say here ctx.stroke style. We'll make it gray, so it's nicely aligned with the other items here. And then we're going to say a ctx dot, let's give it a thicker line, so we know it's a border line. So ctx line width of 2. Alright, so now we have this. What I want to do is I want to draw the line from here to there and there to here. So we're going to say ctx dot move to, and the move to here will get the values of whatever is the value in here, or basically the starting point here, or this could be even left. It starts at the left side, so it's x and y, and we can say here we have here the very left. And then what I want to do is I want to move to here. We can say here top probably if I save that. What I want to do is just let's test this, and if I grab this one, put in here, move to will be line 2. That will be the connecting line, and this one here will be a bit more tricky. But right now I'll just put this on right just to see if we have a line. And ctx.stroke to draw the line. Save, refresh. Alright, so we have a line here. Let's make this dotted. ctx.set set line dash. And then we can say here 6 pixels visible dots, and then 6 pixels of white space. And as you can see here, it impacts everything else. And the reason why is we have this begin path, and then after here we have this here, and I need to make sure we remove this afterwards. And that's the only way to do it so far I know. And as you can see here now, this line here is not anymore impacted, only this here. But of course I want to start here and I want this part to there to be independently a solid line. So what I can do here, copy this, put that in there, we say gray. No, I'll just leave it as it is here, and we can just remove this, remove that one. Here, we need to check now, because what I want to do is I want to start from here, going to here. So how do we do this? Well, if I do a console log, we have access to the Y scale. That's the X. Open up developer tab. Alright, you can see here something is happening. Line dash stroke, new begin path. Of course, this one is right now overruling it. So we just leave that one as it is. So then, we go here into the X scale. You see here the ticks. The ticks give us the value that we need. It basically indicates where to start, where to end. And what I want to end is just very simple. At the 1 here. Whatever this value is, that is the value that we're going to use. So we're going to say here, x.ticks, index 0, and then we say here, dot value. So we have this one here, but of course, this value here needs to be converted. Because right now it says a value, I need to convert this into a pixel. So we say x.getPixel for the value of whatever we have in this tick. There should be tick number 1, not 0, my bad. If you do 0, it will just start here at the very beginning. So I need to have number 1, which is 60, then we have that one there. So if I save this, refresh, there we are. So now I can just grab this logic, put it here as a starting point, and everything else will be done. There we are. So now we have this. The only thing probably what you would like to have here is then to convert this value into a 0. So to do this, I'm going to scroll down in the scales here, and then I just have to check here quickly. So in the scales, we want to have the X scale, because that's this one here. The 40 needs to be changed. So I'm going to say a comma. I'm going to say, I want to focus on the ticks. And I'll say a callback. And the callback here, we can start to put in the value and I guess the index. And then here, function error expression. So after just some quick checking, I just have to make sure it's callback, value, index. And then, well, if I refresh here, we get right now an error. Because the reason why is we cannot do a console log yet, because if I do value right now, save, refresh, there's nothing in here. So what I need to do is I need to return the value. So if I return the value here, now it works again back to normal. However, what I really want is, I want to make sure that we remove just only one thing, whatever the value is. But let me double check if I can find here the value. It's probably somewhere here up. There we are. This is the value. So what I want to do here now is I want to make sure that this 40 will be converted into a 0. So it starts at 0, and then here we have the age or production or male, female, anything you can imagine. So what I'm going to do is very simple. I'm just going to say here an if statement, if index equals strict 0, which is basically the index of the very first one. In that case, I want to return a value of 0. And then else, return value. Save, refresh, there we are. So now we have this here, and now we have a 0 in here, have this dotted line, and absolutely phenomenal. There we are. And that's basically it, how we can create a horizontal Dumbbell chart in chart.js 4.